Welcome to Wrestling Sphere, your go-to spot for the most exciting WWE content. In today's video, we're diving into father and son in WWE 2025, taking a closer look at the age differences between legendary wrestling families. From iconic superstars of the past to the rising stars carrying their legacy, this is a journey fueled by passion, pride, and heritage. If you're a WWE fan, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. 1. Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes. Virgil Riley Runnels Jr., better known to the world as Dusty Rhodes, was born on October 12, 1945. A true icon in professional wrestling, Dusty captured hearts with his everyman persona and unmatched charisma on the mic. Nicknamed the American Dream, he held multiple major titles, including 3 reigns as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Beyond the ring, Dusty made a huge impact behind the scenes, mentoring future stars during his time at WWE NXT. Sadly, he passed away on June 11, 2015, but his legacy lives on. Carrying that legacy is his son, Cody Garrett Runnels Rhodes, born on June 30, 1985. Growing up under his father's massive shadow wasn't easy, but instead of running from it, Cody used it as motivation. Starting with the polarizing character Stardust, he left WWE in 2016, reinvented himself, and became a cornerstone of AEW. However, the real turning point came in 2022, when Cody made his emotional return to WWE, driven by a mission to finish the story his father started. And now, he stands closer than ever to becoming world champion. The bond between Dusty and Cody isn't just about blood, it's about a shared dream passed from one generation to the next. Cody once said that every time he steps into the ring, he does it in honor of his father, the American Dream. 2. Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio. Oscar Gutierrez, known worldwide as Rey Mysterio, was born on December 11, 1974. He's a living legend of modern lucha libre. Standing at just 5 feet 6 inches, Rey defied expectations with jaw-dropping agility, unmatched technique, and an unbreakable fighting spirit. He made history as the first Mexican wrestler to win the World Heavyweight Championship in WWE, taking on giants like Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Eddie Guerrero. But perhaps the most surprising chapter in his career is facing off against his own son. Dominik Gutierrez, born on April 5, 1997, first appeared on WWE TV as a young boy caught in the emotional feud between Rey and Eddie Guerrero in 2005. It wasn't until 2020 that Dominic officially stepped into the ring, debuting alongside his father in a match against Seth Rollins and Murphy. At first, it seemed like a new generation was seamlessly picking up where the last left off. But in 2022, Dominic shocked everyone by turning on Rey and joining the Judgment Day. From respectful son to arrogant heel, Dominic underwent a dramatic transformation. Their personal and emotional feud came to a head at WrestleMania 39, marking the first ever father-son match in the event's storied history. Their story is more than just a family conflict. It's about expectations, personal growth, and the painful process of stepping out of a legendary shadow to forge your own path. 3. Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon. Born on August 24, 1945, Vincent Kennedy McMahon is arguably the most influential figure in WWE history. Under his leadership, what started as a regional wrestling promotion transformed into a global entertainment empire. But Vince wasn't just the boss behind the curtain. He became a larger-than-life character on screen, ruthless, commanding, and often embroiled in wild feuds with WWE superstars, and even his own family. His son, Shane Brandon McMahon, born January 15, 1970, is the next in line from the McMahon dynasty. Though he never had the muscle-bound physique of other WWE stars, Shane earned respect through sheer guts and daredevil stunts. From leaping off the top of hell in a cell to crashing through tables from dizzying heights, Shane quickly built a reputation as the family's fearless risk-taker. While there were times they stood on the same side, Shane and Vince often clashed, both in storylines and behind the scenes. One of the most unforgettable moments came at WrestleMania X7 in 2001, when Shane announced he had bought WCW, right in front of his stunned father. Their power struggles on screen mirrored the complex dynamics of their real-life relationship within WWE's hierarchy. Shane wasn't just a corporate heir, he embodied heart over strategy, a bold contrast to his father's calculated empire-building mindset. 4. Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair. Richard Morgan Flair, better known as the legendary Ric Flair, was born on February 25, 1949. Nicknamed the Nature Boy, He became a wrestling icon thanks to his flamboyant robes, charismatic promos, and elite in-ring skills. Flair was the first to reach 16 recognized world championship reigns, a milestone that stood unmatched for decades. To fans, he wasn't just a wrestler, he was a cultural icon. His daughter, Ashley Elizabeth Flair, known in the ring as Charlotte Flair, was born on April 5, 1986. Interestingly, wrestling wasn't part of her original plans. But after the tragic death of her younger brother Reed, Charlotte decided to step into the ring and carry on the family legacy. Since her WWE debut in 2015, she has dominated the women's division with her imposing presence, technical precision, and undeniable star power. Now considered one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, Charlotte has captured numerous championship titles. While critics have often pointed to her famous last name, she silenced doubters through unforgettable battles with the likes of Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. From a legendary father to a record-breaking daughter, the Flair family stands as one of the few wrestling dynasties where both generations have left a lasting mark on WWE history. 5. Curt Hennig and Curtis Axel. Curtis Michael Henig, famously known as Mr. Perfect, was born on March 28, 1958. In the late 80s and early 90s, he stood out as one of WWE's most technically gifted performers. With flawless in-ring ability, natural athleticism, and a magnetic arrogance, Curt became synonymous with excellence. Though he never held the world title, his reign as Intercontinental Champion remains one of the most respected in WWE lore. Curt Hennig passed away on February 10, 2003, but his legacy endures. His son, Joseph Curtis Hennig, born October 1, 1979, stepped into the WWE spotlight with the weight of enormous expectations. Initially known as Michael McGillicuddy during his time with the Nexus, he struggled to find his footing. It wasn't until 2013 that he rebranded as Curtis Axel, a tribute to both his father Curt and grandfather Larry the Axe Hennig, that he began to make a name for himself. Under the guidance of Paul Heyman, Axel captured the Intercontinental Championship, echoing his father's success. While Curtis never reached the same heights as Mr. Perfect, his career was a testament to perseverance. For over a decade, he proudly carried the Hennig name forward, contributing to WWE in quiet but meaningful ways. 6. Ted DiBiase and Ted DiBiase Jr. Theodore Marvin DiBiase, born January 18, 1954, etched his name into WWE history as the $1 Million Man. With his flashy suits, smug laugh, and the unforgettable catchphrase, "Everybody's got a price," Ted became one of the most iconic villains of the 1980s. Though he never held the WWE World Championship, he introduced his own prestigious symbol of wealth and power, the $1 Million Championship. Outside the ring, he also served as a manager, mentor, and later, a Christian minister. His son, Theodore Marvin DiBiase Jr., born November 8, 1982, carried the weight of high expectations. Debuting in 2008, Ted Jr. made an immediate impact by winning the tag team titles alongside Cody Rhodes and later joining Legacy, a faction led by Randy Orton. At one point, he even wore the same $1 Million Championship his father once flaunted, an unmistakable nod to his family roots. Despite early promise and a strong pedigree, Ted Jr.'s career never reached the heights many predicted. After several years of struggling to find his place, he parted ways with WWE in 2013. He later shifted his focus to charity work and business ventures, stepping away from the wrestling spotlight altogether. The DiBiase story is a classic tale of contrast, where the father became a legendary figure, and the son, though talented, found it difficult to escape the towering shadow cast before him. 7. Rocky Johnson and The Rock. Wade Douglas Bowles, known to wrestling fans as Rocky Johnson, was born on August 24, 1944. He broke barriers as one of WWE's first major black superstars. Teaming with Tony Atlas, the two became the first African-American duo to win the WWE Tag Team Championships in 1983. With a powerful physique and boxing skills honed from his early fighting days, Rocky brought a unique, high-energy style to the ring. More than a trailblazer, he was also a source of inspiration, especially for his son. That son was Dwayne Douglas Johnson, born May 2, 1972, the man the world would later come to know simply as The Rock. Though born into a wrestling family, Dwayne initially pursued football before fate brought him back to the ring. He debuted in 1996 under the name Rocky Maivia, a tribute to both his father and grandfather. The fans rejected the gimmick at first, but Dwayne reinvented himself as The Rock, combining unmatched charisma, sharp wit, and raw athleticism to become one of the most electrifying performers in WWE, and later, a global superstar. Rocky Johnson passed away on January 15, 2020. But his legacy lives on, not just through his groundbreaking career, but through a son who conquered WWE and then took over Hollywood. 8. Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes. Virgil Riley Runnels Jr., better known as Dusty Rhodes, was born on October 12, 1945. Known as the American Dream, Dusty wasn't just a gifted wrestler, he was a symbol of hope for the working class. With his emotional promos and relatable persona, he connected with fans in a way few others could. Whether in WWF or rival promotions like NWA, Dusty became a legend not for flashy moves, but for his heart, passion, and storytelling inside the ring. His passing on June 11, 2015, left an irreplaceable void in the world of wrestling. His son, Dustin Patrick Runnels, born April 11, 1969, took a very different path. Rather than mirror his father's everyman image, Dustin reinvented himself as Goldust, one of the most provocative characters in WWE history. With his gold and black face paint, androgynous costumes, and bizarre behavior, Goldust stood out immediately during WWE's edgier 1990s era. Throughout his career, Dustin experienced highs and lows, leaving and returning to WWE multiple times. But he always stayed true to his own identity. Though he carried the Rhodes name, Dustin didn't live in his father's shadow. He built a legacy of his own, strange, fearless, and unforgettable. 10. Rick Steiner and Bron Breakker. Robert Rex Steiner, better known as Rick Steiner, was born on March 6, 1961. A powerhouse of the 1990s wrestling scene, Rick teamed with his brother Scott to form the Steiner Brothers, one of the most dominant and respected tag teams in wrestling history. With a background in amateur wrestling, unmatched strength, and raw intensity, Rick captured numerous tag team titles across both WWE and WCW. Fans loved him not just for his athleticism, but for his no-nonsense, high-impact style that left a lasting impression. His son, Bronson Rex Steiner, born October 26, 1997, now wrestles under the name Bron Breakker and has quickly become one of WWE's most talked-about young stars. Debuting in NXT in 2021, Bron exploded onto the scene with his explosive power, technical ability, and confident swagger. While his style embraces the speed and aggression of modern wrestling, there's no denying the echoes of his father's legacy in everything he does. Bron Breakker is widely seen as the heir to the Steiner wrestling tradition, a new generation with old-school roots, poised to help carry WWE into the future. 11. Jerry Lawler and Brian Christopher. Jerry the King Lawler, born November 29, 1949, is a true legend of Memphis wrestling and a beloved figure in WWE history. With his sharp wit, in-ring savvy, and crowd-commanding charisma, Jerry became an icon of Southern wrestling and a staple of the industry for decades. In addition to his in-ring success, Lawler became one of WWE's most recognizable voices as a longtime commentator, adding personality and insight to countless classic moments. His son, Brian Christopher Lawler, born January 10, 1972, entered the business under the name Brian Christopher, and later found success as Grandmaster Sexay, one half of the popular tag team Too Cool. Known for his flashy moves, high energy, and unique style, Brian lit up WWE's tag division in the late 90s and early 2000s. While he didn't reach the legendary status of his father, Brian made his own mark, particularly through his memorable team-ups and crowd-pleasing performances. Sadly, Brian's life outside the ring was troubled, and his career never fully matched its early promise. Still, the father-son bond between Jerry and Brian remains a poignant chapter in wrestling history, a reminder of both the glory and the challenges that come with life in the squared circle. 13. Jerry Brisco and Wes Brisco. Jerry Brisco, born September 29, 1946, was a standout name in professional wrestling throughout the 1970s and early 80s. Renowned for his technical expertise and smooth in-ring control, Jerry held numerous tag team championships and became one of the most respected grapplers of his time. But his influence didn't stop at wrestling. He went on to play vital behind-the-scenes roles in WWE as a talent scout and producer, helping shape future generations of stars. His son, Wesley Brisco, born August 21, 1983, carried on the family name with pride. Competing in promotions like WWE's NXT and various independent circuits, Wes showcased a diverse skill set and carved out his own path in the industry. Though he hasn't reached the same heights as his father, Wes is recognized for his technical ability, especially in tag team matches and submission wrestling. The Brisco father-son bond is a powerful example of how wrestling traditions can be passed down, not just through name recognition but through hard work, shared passion, and a deep love for the craft. 14. Dory Funk Sr. and Dory Funk Jr. Dory Funk Sr., born July 4, 1919, played a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of American wrestling. More than just a competitor, he was a trainer, promoter, and a key figure in the Texas wrestling scene, where he helped launch the careers of many future stars. Known for his strict discipline and technical brilliance, Dory Sr. was instrumental in the growth of the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA, and left a lasting imprint on the business. His son, Dory Funk Jr., born February 3, 1941, took the family name to new heights. A former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Dory Jr. became one of the most respected and technically sound wrestlers of the 1970s. His calm, calculated style and relentless work ethic earned him a place among wrestling's elite, and his legacy continues through his work as a trainer and mentor to younger talent. The Funks are one of wrestling's most legendary families, proof that excellence, when passed from one generation to the next, can create a dynasty that shapes the sport for decades. 15. Bruno Sammartino and David Sammartino. Bruno Sammartino, born October 6, 1935, stands as one of the most iconic figures in WWE history. He famously held the WWE Championship for a combined total of over 11 years, an unmatched record that speaks volumes about his dominance and staying power. Beloved by fans for his raw strength, resilience, and unwavering loyalty, Bruno wasn't just a wrestler. He was a hero to an entire generation. His classic powerhouse style, combined with humble charisma, made him the heart and soul of WWE during his era. His son, David Sammartino, born October 1, 1960, followed his father's footsteps into the squared circle. Carrying the Sammartino name came with enormous expectations, and while David's wrestling career in the 1980s didn't reach the historic heights of Bruno's, he still had his moments in the spotlight. Competing in WWE and other promotions, David fought hard to make a name for himself in a shadow cast by greatness. Together, Bruno and David represent a legacy built on grit and generational passion, proof that in wrestling the torch often passes from father to son, even when the paths look different. 16. Bob Orton Jr. and Randy Orton. Bob Orton Jr., born November 10, 1950, made his mark in WWE during the 1980s with his signature persona as Cowboy Bob Orton. Known for his smooth technical ability and distinct swagger, he played a key role in some of the company's most memorable storylines. Often seen wearing a cast as part of his gimmick, even when uninjured, Orton became a memorable heel with a reputation for bending the rules. Beyond his in-ring work, Bob Orton helped define what it meant to be part of a wrestling dynasty. That legacy reached new heights with his son, Randy Orton, born April 1, 1980. Known to fans as the Viper, Randy became one of the most decorated and dangerous superstars of the modern era. With his cold, calculated in-ring style and an uncanny ability to deliver the RKO out of nowhere, Randy has headlined countless events, captured multiple world titles, and carved out a Hall of Fame-worthy career. He's not just following the family tradition, he's redefining it. The Ortons represent a wrestling bloodline marked by talent, evolution, and an unwavering presence at the top of the business. 18. Bob Orton Sr. and Bob Orton Jr. Bob Orton Sr., born April 1, 1929, was a standout figure in the golden age of professional wrestling. With a lengthy and accomplished career, he laid the foundation for what would become one of wrestling's most enduring dynasties. Known for his technical prowess and old-school toughness, Orton Sr. wasn't just a competitor. He was also a mentor and a guiding force, inspiring future generations both inside and outside his family. His son, Bob Orton Jr., born November 10, 1950, took that legacy to the national spotlight. Nicknamed Cowboy Bob Orton, he became a familiar face in WWE during the 1980s, recognized for his unique personality and refined in-ring technique. Whether he was backing up legends like Roddy Piper or stirring up trouble on his own, Orton Jr. made a lasting impact with his signature cast and sharp wrestling style. He helped define what it meant to be a true ring technician in an era of colorful characters and explosive rivalries. Together, Bob Orton Sr. and Bob Orton Jr. embodied the generational spirit of wrestling, where passion, skill, and tradition are passed down like heirlooms. Their contributions not only shaped their own legacies but also paved the way for future stars like Randy Orton, continuing a proud family story that spans decades inside the squared circle. And that wraps up our look at some of the most iconic father and son duos in WWE history, along with some fun age comparisons between generations of wrestling superstars. From legends like Rey Mysterio and Ric Flair to rising stars like Dominic and Charlotte Flair, each of them has added their own chapter to the ever-growing legacy of WWE. Which father-son duo impressed you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Wrestling Sphere, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our WWE content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video right here on Wrestling Sphere.